y'all, and welcome back to my channel. On this page, I talk about technology and money. Sometimes I also talk about trending topics and things like that. Basically, whatever I come across that's interesting, engaging, and that you all find helpful. If you're new here, you're very welcome here. I'm glad you're here on the page. Feel free to engage. I do ask everyone to like the video. Liking and sharing the video, it does two things. It encourages me to continue creating content that you all find helpful. And then number two, it is you telling the algorithm that you find this information interesting, engaging, and helpful. Y'all give me just one moment. Okay, I just wanted to do a quick audio check. Okay, that you all find helpful. So yeah, and then welcome to the new subscribers. I see the channel has picked up a couple of more subscribers here in the last couple of days. So welcome. So I wanted to do, try to keep this under 30 minutes. I wanted to do a mid-spring check-in, talk a little bit about that, talk a little bit about the 2023 Stanley Cup playoffs, which is hockey. And then at last, just wrap it in. And trust me, this is all related. I know these three items may not seem related. Quote, minding Black women's business, end quote. I know these three topics may not seem related, but they actually are. And I'll try to correlate them all in the end. Y'all just bear with me. So I wanted to do a mid-spring check-in. It's the 3rd of May. It's the 3rd of May, excuse me. So we're about halfway through the spring. If you follow like the quarters, usually it's like January, February, March is winter. April, May, June is spring, and then you have summer, and then you have fall, etc. So this is the point in time where I do like a mid-spring check-in, like on myself, finances, health, career, cleaning out the house. If you haven't done that, I encourage you to do that. It does help. For example, I started my mid-spring check-in and clean up in my refrigerator and found things that I just no longer needed, that were still good, that I could help. I've started going through my closet. I keep a close eye on my money, hence the channel name, Computer and Coin. But I take a deep look in the spring, usually a couple of times a year, really deep look at like investments and different things that I have, things like that, see how they're performing, to see if any adjustments need to be made, or if any new purchases need to be made. Y'all know I listen to a lot of different, not a lot, I listen to several different podcasts around money. And then some of the channels that I follow, like Susie Orman's Women in Money podcast is one of my favorites. She does twice a week. Her podcast really does have a lot of good tips. I like Fun and Budget with Tanisha. I've talked about her YouTube channel before, and how she talks a lot about, she's an IT professional up in the DMV area. She's very transparent with her money and her budget, how she is working to pay off her second mortgage. She already has one full paid off mortgage. She has a fully paid off Tesla, and just different things. And her investments are like hers, are like the Broken Wallet, the Broke Black Girl. And there's a couple of other channels and things I listen. So mid-spring is an excellent time to just do even a check-in. Even if you don't check in on everything, all aspects of your life, it can be a lot. If you just pick one area, because as seasons change, we are, as humans and individuals, in a constant state of change and hopefully growth. So even if you only take one item that you focus on and just do a thorough assessment and check in, how is that particular item performing? Can it perform better? If it can perform better, what can you do to change it? I gave an example of my finances. I did that. One thing, another is my health. There's some things around there around exercise that can definitely be improved. Too many nights of eating popcorn. I love popcorn, right? But that's not the best. But even if you only pick one thing as spring, because as the seasons change, so do we, right? And seeing what can be improved, what can be changed, even if it's like a 1% change. Because even 1% small incremental changes can help and lead to growth. So yeah, I encourage you to do that. So speaking of change again, because I said all of these are going to be correlated, and I'm going to try to tie these three seemingly unrelated topics into one and talking about how they're correlated. So speaking of like a mid-spring check-in and change and growth, I want to talk a little bit about the Stanley Cup playoffs in hockey, because I know I haven't done, at least here on YouTube, done a lot of videos recently. I have been more active over on TikTok. So I discovered, now for me, now hockey been around since like the 1800s. I discovered the sport of hockey, engaging with it as a fan, and how much fun it is, and have been very much following the 2023 Stanley Cup playoffs. Now, if you don't know what the Stanley Cup is like one of the hardest trophies to win in the world of professional sports. Stanley Cup is played by teams in the United States and also Canada. And then the hockey NHL, the National Hockey League, is divided into like the Western Conference and the Eastern Conference. So this is the time of the year where the best of the best compete for the Stanley Cup. So back around, I'll say late November, early December, another creator that I follow named Mocha Mommy did this really good live on her channel about Black women and women exploring and stepping out of their comfort zone. And one of those, and it was all that show she did was almost like a fall check-in, right? So I was talking about it first like a mid-spring check-in. So she was talking about women, especially Black women, stepping out of their comfort zone and trying different things and just kind of expanding, right? Tying in to what I was talking about with mid-spring check-in and growth and change. And I'm going to leave a link to her live in the comments, in the description after this video, because it was so good. So, but in that video, I'm going to try to keep it short. And she encouraged Black women, but especially Black women, to step out of their comfort zone, try something different, go somewhere different. And around, she's a really big MLB, Major League Baseball. She follows the sport of baseball very closely. And she talks about that. She's very much into it. So I was like, baseball is not, it's like, okay, it seems okay. And we don't have a professional sport team in my state. I was like, oh, but we have hockey. So we have a professional hockey league in the Carolinas. So I listened to that live, was very inspired. Also, with the past 3 years, everything that's happened with, around the world with the C word. I was like, okay, I'll go to a hockey game. What I did not expect was how much fun professional hockey is, how interested and thrilling and exciting the game is. I did not expect it to get hooked. I was like, I'm just going to go to a hockey game. This is in December. I got a ticket. I was like, I'm just going to go to this hockey game, see what's all about. Never been to a hockey game. Hockey has been in North Carolina 25 years. I went to a Carolina Hurricanes game. I think that game they played the Seattle Kraken. Y'all, when I tell you I had so much fun at that hockey game, and it was so exciting. And I love learning new things. I love the thrill. I didn't know hockey was like that. It's a very fast-paced game. It's only an hour. Really, it's only an hour's worth of play, right? They only have 3 20-minute periods. And when I say hockey, professional hockey it is a fast-paced game. The athletes I did not anticipate it being so much fun. So that's why one thing, because I've been so engaged with hockey here. I've been following the games, and now it's the playoffs and things like that, and talking about that over on TikTok. But how I was talking about with the mid-spring check-in and, doing an assessment, be following the Stanley Cup playoffs and the NHL and hockey. That was something that I did that was very different, just assessing like how Mocha Mommy encouraged in that live and trying different things that I just did not expect to enjoy, and has actually encouraged me to grow and try different things, and different opportunities have come my way via me talking about hockey over on TikTok that I didn't anticipate. But the thing is around stepping out of your comfort zone, doing an assessment of currently like where you are, what can change, even if it's an incremental 1% change, and how big of a difference even trying and learning about, and even sharing. If you don't have to share what you learned about, but even sharing those new things with other people, how that can change you, but it can also change and help others. And again, y'all, I promise y'all said I was going to correlate all three of these three topics here on the screen together. Just work with me, give me just like a few more minutes, and I'll tell you how it's all tied in. So if you've been missing some of the content, come over to my TikTok page, same name. You'll see more hockey videos over there. But just following that and just learning about the sport of hockey has just opened me to different opportunities. It's different. Let me tell you, hockey is so different, y'all. But what's funny about it, beyond the sport, like just this week on ESPN's First Take, Snoop Dogg was a guest on First Take yesterday. Snoop Dogg has put in a bid to buy the Ottawa Senators. So the Ottawa Senators is, they're part of the NHL. They're based up in Ottawa, Canada. They're one of all the teams in the NHL are big teams. But when I saw Snoop on ESPN yesterday, and I was like, oh my God, Snoop is in the running to purchase this professional National Hockey League hockey game. Y'all, it's bigger. I'm telling you, how they say in New Jack City, this thing bigger than Nino Brown. Okay. So it's really interesting. And, sometimes when you do those mid-seasonal check-ins and assessments and what can change, mine in the fall was around getting out and trying new things, and then going on and just discovering the sport of hockey, and then following the playoffs, which is a lot of fun. Matter of fact, there's a Carolina Hurricanes got a game here with the New Jersey Devils that comes on in about 15-20 minutes. So I'm going to try to wrap this up real quick because Carolina Hurricanes advanced to the second round of the Stanley Cup playoffs. The New Jersey Devils beat the New York Rangers. Anyway, but tying in and trying those different things can really make a really big difference on your life, which kind of takes me to my next and final thing, just the quote unquote minding Black women's business. Now, if you're not, I talked about this, I'm a Black woman, that's how I identify, etc. So if you haven't been following along, there's another big thing going viral around, like media journalist Eboni K. Williams. She had a guest of Iyanla Vanzant on her show, and Iyanla asked her, would you date a bus driver? And Eboni was like, if he owned a bus company. And that just went viral because now people are now, as usual, punching down, judging, assessing, making comments on how Black women date and how they think they're too good or they should settle or lower. I'm not going to do a whole sec. There's lots of content creators that have done reactions and input on that at both genders at different levels. I'm not going to talk about that. But when I say minding Black women's business, and especially as a woman working in corporate America, I think some of you all can relate. I've received comments from y'all, how much we are judged in so many different aspects in the corporate environment, how we wear our hair, how we dress, even if it is professional, just being constantly judged, microaggressions, like last month it was women buying houses, and Black women shouldn't buy houses if they're single, wait till they're married, and judging women around that, and judging women about buying houses, owning real estate, and then the thing about women, not just women, but particularly Black women and their degrees and how the education should. This is what I would encourage not only Black women, but women of all races. Do not concern yourself, whether you're single, married, partnered, widow, divorced, etc. Don't concern yourself. It's okay to listen. I've seen a couple of clips, and don't let it get you down so much. Okay. Don't let the outside opinions of others try to like dictate the decisions you make in your life. Like, it's okay to, if you want to check it out a little bit, but don't concern yourself with that. There are so many things going on in the world, in the United States, in the world, that is so much bigger than whether or not it's okay for single women to buy their own house before they meet a husband, or if single women shouldn't date bus drivers. Y'all, interest rates for certificates of deposit has gotten as high as 5% lately, right? There's bigger things. And tied into that, now I can't play this whole video. I'm hoping, sorry. Let me share my screen. This is why I say, don't concern yourselves too much with the opinions of others and people judging, decisions, whether you're single, whether you're married, etc. Let's see, here we go. Hopefully that share is okay. I think it is. So just out of respect, consent. I don't know if I can share this whole video. So I only share like a short clip because I'm sensitive. Even if it's fair use, I don't want to share. I'll just play maybe 5 or 6 seconds.
To enroll kids into.
Let me make sure the audio piece is playing. Is the audio? I hope the audio comes through. Let me stop sharing. Give me one moment, y'all. Because I didn't see the prompt about audio, and I want to make sure. Let's see. Okay, yes. Okay, yes. Audio is okay. It's checked. Okay, let me just back it up. And I'll leave a link to this. Y'all know I've talked a lot about artificial intelligence in healthcare and how it's changing how healthcare is delivered, practiced, etc. for patients. But it's also in education and also, banking and retail and fast food and food delivery and things like that. But now this video here is old. It just last week though, MC Hammer shared it on his Twitter page. And if you don't know MC Hammer, rapper Chameleon from Houston, and a Soulja Boy. There are a couple of rappers who have made the transition from being musical artists, and they are now in the world of tech. MC Hammer is one of those. He's very much into future technology, startups, things like that. So is Chameleonaire, Soulja Boy, a couple of others. But MC Hammer shared this video. Now it's older. Like I said, it's 3 or 4 years old. But when I say, when people mind Black women's business, and I know how, women react, because people have all of these opinions, how we wear our hair, don't concern yourself so much with the opinions of others, y'all, because there's so much more happening in the world around us there's so much more happening in the world around, improvements and things. We should not let ourselves get so bogged down in the trite things such as whether or not women should date bus drivers or whether or not single women should buy homes, that we don't want to miss the things that are in the bigger picture, such as this.
Parental consent to enroll kids into what is one of the world's largest experiments in AI education.
Okay, so I'm just going to leave it at that. I don't want to play too much more because, again, I don't know in terms of if it's fair use and all of that. But so over in China, now this is 3 years old. The things with technology, by the time you learn about certain things, you hear about these things, they've already been in the works. So if this thing is 3 years old, and whether you're hearing about it for the first time or the second time, etc., there are places in the world where children are being educated and their education is so advanced in terms of AI and technology and tools to help them perform at the highest level that they can, with their capacity. And that's why I say there's bigger things going on, and don't be so concerned about the opinions of it's wrong for single women to buy houses, or how women wear their hair, or does my girlfriend get up and make me a sandwich when I want one. Y'all, certificates of deposits got as high as 5% last month, right? There's T-bills, Series I bonds, things like that, when we talk about wanting to have generational wealth in our family. So when I say, when people who are minding women's business and the concerns, I'm saying there are just so many more important things happening and going on that we should not be so concerned and focused on those things that people may say because they're just opinions, that we miss opportunities around, growth, growth and expanding ourselves, whether professionally or learning about a new sport or assessing, doing check-ins on what we can change to improve ourselves, or, where we can grow ourselves financially or health-wise, that we miss those things. Or like in this case, how there are other countries that are using AI to ensure that their children have the best type of education. So that video, they're talking about how they're using these special headbands that are embedded with AI and machine learning that then feeds reporting data back to like the teachers and the parents to talk about the child's performance and where the child can improve, how well they're paying attention, their focus. It even helps them meditate before the start of every school day, things like that. And of course, I was watching it and learning about it. I was like, oh, there was a little bit of ethical concerns, things that popped up into my head. But my point is, there are bigger things to focus on and learn about than, people minding women's business, whether you're single, married, etc., and their opinions of how we live our lives and how we live our lives and the decisions that we make that's best for ourselves and our families. That's it, y'all. I just wanted to do a quick spring check-in. I hope everyone is well. Once the Stanley Cup playoffs is over with, there's a couple of more rounds of things. Like I plan to come back to making more regular content and videos. You can come follow me on TikTok. Thanks to everyone who sends in the Cash App donations. I really do appreciate that, y'all. Every bit helps. It encourages me. And even if you pay in terms of likes, I appreciate that as well. So yeah, y'all, if you made it this far, glad you did. Hope you're well, stay healthy, and I'll see you in the next video.